going on, my junkies? My favorite hockey junkies. Green screen came in today. I'm gonna be getting that all set up as soon as the desk comes in, which should be by the 31st, which is... It's now the 27th, so it should be 5 more days. But anyways, today we're gonna be grading and reviewing each draft pick from the 2024 PWHL Draft. Now, I thought I had a very hard time starting from worst, because, I'm doing worst to first. But yeah, as I said, I had a very hard time starting, I think it was pretty obvious that Boston did the worst. That I'll get into why, but after Boston, I had a very hard time picking. It was just, it's hard because each team did pretty good. They made pretty good picks, it was hard. But anyways, let's get right into it. Let's start with Boston. So yeah, guys, I picked Boston because they traded away their 3rd round pick and their 5th round pick, so they didn't really get any of the top round skill that was provided in the PWHL draft. But let's go over each of their picks. Hannah Bilka, I liked this one. She dominated her college career. She was pretty damn good offensively, and Boston's they're gonna be celebrating every time she scores. They're gonna be looking back at the point when they drafted her, and they're gonna be celebrating. On to the next pick, Daniela Pejova. If you've seen any of her highlights, and if you're also a Boston Fleet fan, you're gonna be happy again. This woman, she's able. I'd say her most impressive play is her board play. The way she's able to win board battles, she's very impressive at that. She's got size, she's got skill, she's actually fast too for her size. Boston's gonna be really happy with this pick. On to the next one, Sydney Bard, skipping the 3rd round. Sydney Bard, I'd say she's more of an offensive defenseman, 5'3", not really that heavy. She puts up around 30 points every year in college. She's gonna be that offensive defenseman, maybe a second power play quarterback. They're really gonna enjoy Bard's play here in a couple years. Now, skipping the 5th round, on to Shea Maloney. I'd consider this woman a two-way forward, and that's something that Boston is absolutely notorious for. Even in the NHL, they love two-way forwards. People like Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci, I can't even think off the top of my head right now because of how focused I am on Shea Maloney. She's, she'll still put up points for you, but her main focus is gonna be her defensive play as a forward, and that's something that Boston was very focused on when they drafted her. On to the 7th round, they had 2 different picks from the Pejova trade from New York. They drafted the only Russian player in the draft, in fact, but this woman, she had quite the resume on her. She won, I believe it was best forward for the U18s twice. She was playing in Russia's top league since 2017, and she won the league, in fact, 3 different times, and if I'm not mistaken, she's got a bronze world championship medal. Hold on a sec, let me make sure that I have that right here. Yeah, a bronze World Junior U18 medal. So they clearly went deep, and they took a chance, and there's nothing wrong with taking chances. Quite a few teams took chances this draft, and some paid off, some didn't, but this is one that I think might actually do that. Markova, she's a right winger usually, but she can actually play center. Her contract just ended. If I'm not mistaken, she was on the training camp roster. And last but not least, we have, as I say, Hadley Hartnett. This was an interesting one, I like, if I'm not mistaken, this was the last Ohio State player picked. And, it was the championship team, they just recently had success, and there's nothing wrong with that, championship experience, especially when it's fresh. You always want to get that. But yeah, this is why they're ranked number 6, and if you're surprised why they're number 6, you're only gonna be surprised by how much better the teams are. Let's get right into it. So next at number 5, we have the Minnesota Frost. They got the 3rd overall pick, even though they won the Walter Cup championship. They chose Claire Thompson, a player who did not play last season, but let's be honest, we all know she's still a superstar. She will be a great addition to the Minnesota Frost, and I wouldn't bet against them winning the championship for a second season. At number 9, in the round 2, we got Brita Curl. She's an absolute star on offense. Just got done playing for the University of Wisconsin. She really performed well. I believe it was 62 points in 41 games. Yeah, she's got some controversy around her, but you know what? Controversy passes, and she's gonna do well for Minnesota. Number 3, we got Clara Hiromatova, I believe that's how it's pronounced. She just got done playing for St. Cloud State. I really see her as a two-way forward with a sniping ability. She's more of a two-way forward, but she has that. The accuracy is there. She can do it. Next, we have Brooke McQuaig at 21 in round number 4. She's an interesting one. I feel like Mae Batherson should have been drafted by now, but it happens, and she's already back in the SDHL too. The year before she was playing in Clarkson University, but now she's over in the SDHL. Development's development. It happens. At number 27, there goes Dominique Petrie. She was a special one. She doesn't have a contract signed yet either. That's another thing about her. If I'm not mistaken, she is on the training camp roster, but if she doesn't make the team, I honestly do not know where she plays. That's the one player I'm interested to see. Mae Batherson, a defenseman who honestly should have been drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, if you ask me. She had quite, she played the first 4 years of her collegiate career in a very, very not good school. Let's just play that. They did not measure up to her. You know, I hate to say that because, you know, I hate to talk shit, but, you know, she's a good player. Let's say that, you know, it has to be said. She just finished her last season almost a point per game. It was 8 goals, 29 assists. You know, she's got a chance to be that offensive defenseman in the future for the Frost. And the last is Caitlin Knoll. This was another one I'm surprised that lasted this long. You know, man, yes, she isn't coming off her best season at Northeastern, but again, it's another school that's not entirely the best, and she still did pretty damn good. But anyways, guys, that's the Minnesota's Frost turn, and now let's get on to number 4. You'll like this one. How the fuck? How is Montreal at 4? I'll tell you why. It's Amanda Kessler. Like I said at the beginning, you know, some teams took chances and some paid off and some didn't. You know, at the time, I was so glad that they took this chance. You know, I immediately thought they were gonna win the Walter Cup, but you know, like I said in the other video, you know, she's the assistant general manager for Kyle Dubas and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and you know, she's making a career over there, and I'm happy for her. But let's start with number 1, pick number 5, Kayla Barnes. An amazing defenseman. You know, she might not have the height, you know, she's 5'2", but guess what? You know, she brings it. She brings it every single game. She has an Olympic gold medal, in fact, if I'm not mistaken. On to round number 2, we have Jennifer Gardner. You know, this woman, another player that just absolutely brought it every season. She was I believe she was the first and only Ohio State Buckeye player that Montreal drafted. In fact, she hit a point per game 3 different seasons, and she competed in the internationals. I believe she was just a scratch, but she still got there. Abigail Boreen, she was just a recent signing, in fact, just a couple weeks ago, but she snuck her way in there. She's an interesting player. In fact, I'm interested to see if she can make the team or not. She just won the Walter Cup with the Minnesota Frost as just a scratch player. I believe she only got 1 assist in 5 games. It was 5, yes. 5 in the playoffs. But she did score 5 goals. Or no, it was 4. 4 goals, 5 points in 9 games for the Frost last season. So, you know, she could easily make the 4th line. It's all up to the coach, you know. Dara Grieg, another interesting player. Let's get into her. She's a forward, obviously. She just won a game the other night with Colgate. She's obviously the face that runs the place. She's hit a point per game 2 different seasons. It was just the season that happened, and then 3 seasons ago. She almost hit it 2 seasons ago, but you know, shit happens. If she doesn't make the team this season, I expect it to happen next season, you know. Anna Wilgren, she's another one that just competed in college. In fact, she is a defenseman, 5'8". She just played for the University of Wisconsin, 24 points. She's not a big goal scorer, she's more on the defensive side, but, playing with Wisconsin, you're bound to pick up some points. She had a plus minus of 31. That's the big one, being able to keep defense off, or being able to keep offense off in your own defensive zone is a big play. Anna Zhelbin. I don't know if it's Anna or Anna, but to the point, she's an amazing player. She was playing for Luleå. She's won 5 different championships with them, because they're in the dynasty mode right now. I wouldn't say she's exactly an offensive defenseman, but when it's playoff time, she absolutely performs. But when it's regular season, it seems that she's really off on that defensive, And last but not least, like I said, Amanda Kessel, the swing and the miss. I really like the swing, but they struck out. It happens, That's why they're called busts for a reason. She's absolutely not a bust, but they busted. On to the next team, shall we? On to number 3, the Toronto Scepters. The reason why they passed the Montreal Victoires, I believe they utilized every pick they had perfectly, and that includes pick number 7. Let's start off with Julia Gosling, a pick that just got done playing for St. Lawrence, and she was that other top-notcher, that other goal scorer, the other face that runs the place, if you will. Yeah, she only had a plus minus of 11, but like I said, it's not a very good school. 51 points, 22 goals. That means she had 29 assists. The World Cup, she only had 2 goals, but you know what? She's Julia frickin' Gosling, and she's gonna do good for Toronto. If we move on to their second round pick, we got Megan Carter. She just got done playing a season for Northeastern, where she actually was the captain. She had 25 points, only 4 goals, but, she's really a two-way defender, she's going to be an interesting add-on to the Scepters. Let's move on to Izzy Daniel, she 5'5", doesn't have her weight, but she's going to be another interesting add-on. She just got done playing for Cornell, 59 points, that's about 9 points off of 2 points a game. She had 59 points, only 29 plus minus, but, last season they weren't the best school either. If we move on to Lauren Bernard, 5'7", just got done playing for the Ohio State Buckeyes for 3 seasons. They just won the NCAA championship, so Toronto said, "Ooh, let's go out and let's get one of them as well." I'd probably consider her as a two-way defender. They had she only had 23 points, but she had a plus minus of 47. What does that tell you? It tells you she knows how to read the ice. Let's move on to Naomi Nabuvana, or Nubarova. There we go. Sorry about that. She just got done playing a season in the SDHL where she was just over half a point per game. That's not really bad. She was just under half a point per game in the playoffs, but Bernaz, they were destined to lose. Luea, they're in the dynasty mode right now. She's a Czechian native, and in fact, this season she's playing in the PWHL, where she is just under a point per game. She's got 4 goals, 4 assists, which equals 8 points in 9 games. She's taken 2 penalties so far, but you know what? It's nothing. She's gonna be something to watch in a couple years. Next, we go on to Anneke Linzer. She's a big girl, 5'10", right shot. She was a good pickup for the Skeptors. I'd list her as a 2-way forward, pretty much. She just got done playing a season in the SDHL where she was almost a point per game, in fact, playing for Djurgården. She had 14 goals, 17 assists for 31 points in 36 games, where she had a plus-minus of 29. I'm sure a few of those minuses came from a couple Luea games, but you know what? Like I said, they're in the dynasty mode. One thing to watch, though, is her penalties. She took 16 penalties in 36 games. That's not bad. That's, a little under half a penalty a game, but, it's just something to keep an eye on. Reagan Kirk, their last pick. I love what they did with their last pick. Reagan Kirk, the goalie, 5'8", coming out of Ohio State. Just won the championship. I couldn't see a better pick to possibly be made in the 7th round, of course, unless Amanda Kessel actually came over and played. But yeah, let's move on to the next team. Alright, so yeah, number 2, we have the New York Sirens. So yeah, that means you already know who number 1 is, but yeah, just look at these picks. I mean, they really capitalized with the trade that they made with Boston. But starting with number 1, Sarah Filion. She just got done a season at Princeton University where she literally went over a goal per game. In 29 games, she had 30 goals, 13 assists, 43 points, and a plus-minus of 10. I feel like Princeton wasn't the best team, but she did captain the team for 4 years, so I expect some leadership ability within at least the first 2 years. And I expect her to also be playing on a line with Nora Tulis. We'll get to her in a second. 2nd round, they drafted Maja Nyland-Pearson. She was a really good player last season. Over a point per game, 11 goals, 27 assists, and yet I'd still rank her as a 2-way defenseman. 5'5", 148 pounds, right shot defenseman. She's got a U18 bronze and silver medal. She's quite the catch, if you will. She's captained the team 1 year, and she's been the assistant captain for 2 different years, and she also assistant captained a different team in the SDHL. Now, on to Nora Tulis. She was a part of that dynasty mode in Luea. She's won 7 different SDHL championships. She was winning championships before Luea was even in dynasty mode. She's 29, in fact, a right winger, 5'5", 137 pounds. And she was just... the word dominance comes to mind from last season. In 36 regular season games, she scored 22 goals, 39 assists for 61 points. And in the playoffs, in 9 games, she scored 4 goals, 8 assists for 12 points. At the World Cup, she's Finnish, so she only, they obviously aren't going to do good in the World Cup. She only had 1 assist. And at the internationals, though, in 19 games, she had 15 points, 9 goals, 6 assists. Like I said, I expect Filion and Tulis to start on a line together. But as we move on to Allison Simpson, she just got done playing a season in Colgate. She never really hit a point per game in NCAA, but it's not really the matter. She's a two-way forward, 5'8". Or no, she's not a two-way forward, a two-way defenseman. Sorry. Right-handed shot, but like I said, never really hit a point per game. That's not really a problem. At Colgate, she was still hitting 30 plus minus. That's insanely good for a player playing for Colgate. Let's move on to Gabby Rosenthal, another Ohio State Buckeye, got taken. A forward, 5'7", 25 years old. And yeah, she hit a point per game last season. 21 goals, 16 assists for 37 points. She also had a plus minus of 35. She took a bit of penalties, 17 and 35, but it's not that bad. And this was the year before last. She didn't even play last season. But it's gonna be interesting to see how she does from her year off. Ella Harshey, a center, 5'5", left shot, just got done playing for Yale. She was a point per game for the past 3 seasons, and I'd call her a playmaker for sure. She knows how to find those passing lanes. She's amazing, and she will continue to do that even in the PWHL. I have no doubt about that. She's an amazing player. Kayla Osborne, the Colgate goalie, 5'8", and like most goalies, they catch with their left. That includes her. She had a pretty damn good season last year. In 30 games, she had a goals against average of 1.28, a save percentage of 94, 6 shutouts, and she went 24-1. That means she got taken out for that means she got pulled from the game 5 different times, but in 30 games, it's okay. Give her some development, she'll do good. Emmy Fectu just got done playing in Canadian college. 5'6", 150 pounds, a center, shoots with her left, and she also it might have been just, I don't know, I'm not really up to date on U Sports, but she does have a U Sports championship on her. She was playing for Concordia just the past 2 seasons. She's gone a point per game. She does have that accuracy on her shot, but I think I'd list her more as a playmaker. And she's also a real playoff performer. A real prime time. That's something that all teams are gonna love. But yeah, on to number 1. You all know who it is, and I'm gonna go into depth on why this team did the best at the draft. Number 1, yes, the Ottawa Charge. They had the 2nd overall pick in the PWHL PWHL Draft, and they picked the best available player after Sarah Filion. Daniel Sardakny from the Sardakny family, and this was an absolutely amazing choice. You know, she absolutely lit up college last year. The past 3 years, you know, playing for Colgate, she in fact was the captain 1 year. It's hard to determine what is her exact, you know, she's got the shot accuracy, she's got the playmaking ability, she's got the two-way ability. It's hard to decide what her exact... If I had to decide on one, I'd probably say that she's a two-way forward. You know, she's got the size, you know, she's 5'9", she's 157 pounds, right shot. You know, not that which side she shoots on makes any difference, but the point is she's very talented all the way around, and she is going to be the face of the Ottawa Charge. On to the next player, Ranja Savalainen. This woman just got done playing with the Dynasty for Luea. In fact, she was the assistant captain last year. That means she just got done winning 6 SDHL championships. She also has 2 Olympic bronze medals on her, 4 World Championship bronze medals on her, and a World Championship silver medal on her. I'm surprised she didn't get drafted a little bit sooner, if you ask me. Round 3, they addressed their situation. You know, it was no secret at all that their goalie depth was lacking, and they went out and they got Gwyneth Phillips. Gwyneth Phillips was insanely good last season for Northeastern, you know, a team that was not very good. She went 23, 11, and 3, 6 shutouts, a 95.5 save percentage, a 1.17 goals against average, and that was all done in 37 games. You know, she even wore the A. You know, she went to the World Championships as a backup last season, but you know, she's gonna earn her spot eventually with the Charge. On to the next player, Stephanie Markowski, an Ohio State Buckeye defenseman, 5'8", right shot, 23 years old, and yeah, they just got done winning the NCAA championship. But before that, she played 4 years in Clarkson University, wore an A her final year there. But while she was in Ohio State, she got 3 goals, 24 assists, and 27 points. Had a plus-minus of 51. You know, if that doesn't prove it right there, you know, she's a two-way defenseman. You know, she knows what she's doing on the ice, and you can trust her in certain kind of situations. On to Manna McMahon from the University of Minnesota Duluth. Forward, 5'7", 23 years old, and she in fact wore the C last year. I'd probably give her the two-way forward and player type assessment right off the bat. You know, she's not known for her player accuracy at all. She had a plus-minus of 9 last season. In 39 games, she had 31 points, 14 goals, 17 assists, and she found her way being drafted by the Ottawa Charge. You know, congratulations for her. If I'm not mistaken, yes, she is. She's on the training camp roster, and let's see if she can make the roster this year. On to Manna Mexner I'm very, very proud of her getting drafted. You know, an Austrian, 5'3", 141 pounds, and the last few seasons she's been playing in the SDHL, getting, let's see here, how many seasons has she gotten a point per game? At least 3. In fact, one of those, she almost went a goal per game. It was 2 years ago in 30 games for Brines. She had 26 goals, 27 assists, all in 30 games. That was probably what sent out the eyeballs, you know, like they do in the cartoons when their eyes just come right out of their head. Oh yeah, that was the Ottawa Charge when they read those statistics. But it's not all about statistics, you know. She can perform in other places too, you know. She had a plus-minus of 39, so that didn't go below 30, you know. It almost stayed above 40, and that's impressive playing on a team like Green is. Made it to the finals that year, 8 games, 11 points. You know, she's just that good. And as we go on to their last pick, a defenseman from the University of Minnesota. So Abby Murphy probably knows her real well. She's another big girl, 5'10". She also has 3 U18 World Junior Championship medals. And those were, of course, with USA. Now, she's definitely a two-way defenseman, I'll tell you that right off the bat. But she's sneaky. She can sneak right up there, and she has that long wrister. She has that hard wrist shot from long distance. You know, sometimes it's not accurate, but it's sneaky, and it can sneak up on a goalie. But yeah, she's also a hard hitter. You know, she's definitely a great 7th round pickup, and Minnesota's gonna enjoy it in a few years. I can tell you that right now. But anyways, guys, that's it. That's my rankings from worst to first on the draft. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and take it easy, my junkies. I hope you all leave a like and subscribe as well. It helps me out like you wouldn't believe. Alright, take it easy.